Hey friends, Rebecca here. It's been a while. I have certainly wanted to do another vlog style update, but the timing just didn't feel right. So happy to say now is the time. Things are shifting and moving. And if you watch my energy updates, you know that all planets are direct. They actually have been for a few weeks. But we're finally starting to move out of the shadow phases of some of the retrogrades. And so the momentum is finally picking up. And the good news is we have the whole month of March and most of April in all planet direct energy. So it's awesome for progress and moving forward. So I'm just here to chat with you like a friend. I want to connect with you guys more often, and I want you to know me as much as I want to know you. And so imagine I'm sitting in your living room and we're having a conversation. I would really love to hear from you what's going on in your world as well, so we can make this a two-way conversation. So make sure to reach out. But for now, I will be the one to be vulnerable and willing to share to open the dialogue and the conversation. So, if you've followed my vlog updates, you know where I'm at as far as family and life. But if not, I will give just a tiny recap for those of you who are just joining me. And I think a recap is necessary just to really understand all that has happened. And of course, it is apropos, of course, everything is in perfect divine timing because of what is about to happen in my life and how amazing these shifts are. It really, you have to start sort of at the beginning. And of course, I'm not going to go all the way back. You'll have to follow me for longer. If you don't know my story yet, I'm sure I'll be sharing it in any of the upcoming videos you might watch. But for now, we're going to start back at June, July of 2021. So I was in a corporate career in product development, and that has been ongoing or was ongoing up until June of 2021. And there have been probably 6 or 7 years where I have debated whether or not I was on the right track, and I have very strongly desired to step into my life purpose, which of course is why I'm here and doing what I'm doing with you, helping you raise your vibration and shift into a life that you love, step into your life purpose so that you can identify your value and your worth and know you're worthy and that you are a gift to humanity. I won't go into all the stuff that I say in all my videos. Watch more of the videos if you want to dig into that. But of course, identifying my life purpose has been a challenge, like it is for many spiritual people. And 6, 7 years ago, when I very first made the commitment to following my life path, life purpose, life path, I think it's a life purpose path, to be honest. I had my now oldest fully biological daughter. I do have an older stepdaughter, but my 6-year-old was born with some tummy challenges. She has had tummy challenges her entire life. Of course, we don't know what that is yet, and I'm working on figuring that out. And in divine timing, it will come to us. Because she was not able to eat from a bottle, she absolutely refused anything other than nursing. I was not able to go back to work. I tried, and she literally did not eat for 3 days. So it was kind of that moment that said, okay, are you going to do this? And I said yes, right? And literally within days of quitting my corporate job 6 years ago, an article from, I want to say like USA Today or something like that, was dropped in my lap, literally. And I had felt a call to children and education for a few years as I was sort of pondering, where am I going to go with all of this? And shortly after quitting my corporate job, this full page article, and I believe it was USA Today, was a call for participants in a competition. It was put out by Lorene Pell Jobs, so Steve Jobs' widow, and the call was for innovative high school concepts. And it was like literally 3 days after I had quit my corporate job, and I was like, this is it. This is exactly the gift of the universe to help put me on my right path, right? And what's fascinating, I have to back up even farther, was probably 2 or 3 years prior to that moment of making the plunge, I had hit sort of a peak in my product development career where I was managing $1 billion portfolio for the Kenmore laundry brand. I was traveling the world to Korea and China, working with manufacturers, Whirlpool, another major US manufacturer for laundry. Typically in product development as a product manager or senior product manager, the way you climb is by the value of your portfolio. And so when you hit $1 billion portfolio, it's just kind of like, okay, this is it. And so I knew that I either had to make the commitment at that point that the next step was going to be a director level, an executive level position and continue to climb that management ladder, or something else. And climbing that management ladder just did not sit right with me. I've really struggled with the ego that is in the corporate world, that people are willing to do anything to get ahead. And oftentimes there's corruption and there's sexual leveraging and there's all sorts of things that I just did not want to participate in. I am not that person. I can't even begin to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not good at it, which I've historically viewed as a downfall, but the truth be told, it actually is finally serving me that I just cannot be inauthentic. It's just not possible. That I have a really big heart and I can be so kind and compassionate and caring to the point of being naive at times, but again, it's a gift when I'm in my purpose. But it just wasn't for me. And so that was kind of the moment, like, okay, what am I going to do? And I'm sharing this because it may help you when you finally start asking the question, what am I meant to do? Instead of should I do, or what do I have to do, or feeling trapped in this career that I had spent 15 years at that point developing, maybe a little less, 12 or so. That I had come to a place where I had to ask, what are my gifts? What am I good at? What would I really want to do? Because I had no idea. And it did take time. It took many months and even probably no more than a year, just a few months of really contemplating what do I have to offer. And I recognized that I have a draw to kids, more so in just that, when I go to the store or I'm shopping and they always find me and smile at me, or just the innocence and the beauty that I see in the innocence in children. And that's been something that stood out to me, as well as being a problem solver. And so I just started making this list of things that made sense. And of course it led to education. So come back forward to about 6 years ago, I participated in this competition for innovative high school concepts. And we, as a team, without getting into too many of the details, I formed a team, and together, there were a little less than 10 of us. We progressed to the semifinals. We came up with the concept, value and intention-based education, which is why I go by Vibe Mentor. That is an acronym for value and intention-based education. When I really sat with what is wrong with education today, and I hate to say that because it's in some way suggesting that the Department of Education or teachers are doing something wrong, and they're really not. Most of them have really good hearts and good intentions, and the red tape is there for a reason, and right, you can't point fingers. It doesn't serve anybody. But I personally looked back and said, I wished I had been taught mental health. I wished I had been taught how to manage my thoughts. I wished I had been taught emotion intelligence, right? Having an EQ is important, even in business, and nobody ever talks about it, right? I wish I had identified my value. And when I really asked the question, what is missing in education today? What do we need to shift and change? The core lesson that I would suggest is identifying someone's value, right? That we have no study of self. We have no idea who we are. We have very little education around our strengths and our gifts. We are not taught that our needs are valid, right? From a psychological standpoint, if you see a therapist, they're going to tell you your needs are valid. You should have them met. As a child, if your needs are not met, you end up with complex trauma, right? And so all of these things are known and documented, researched. There's plenty of research on PubMed to support even the connection between mental health and disease, or especially complex trauma and inflammation, or autoimmune diseases. So anyways, the core issue that I see is a lack of education around the value, right? What is your value? And then how are you going to use it? So value and intention. What is your intention for using your value? anyways, we progressed to the semifinals. It kind of seemed like things got co-opted at that point. The government kind of swooped in and all of the grants were given to existing public schools with the exception of one. So, yes, I was disappointed. It didn't progress, but at the same time, it didn't seem like our fault necessarily. It was a good idea, and I pursued trying to start a school, and then we progressed into more of a curriculum and then even a software. We did develop a software. It's sort of more of a beginning stages of a social emotional learning software. And I tried for 2.5 years to sell that to schools and to even just get one pilot so we could test it. Understanding that you have to have a minimum viable product to develop a software, and again, too many details. But point being, after 2.5 years, I think it was maybe closer to 3, I was not able to sustain it, and it wasn't progressing the way I needed it to, as well as going through a toxic relationship and needing an income to be able to support my kids so that I could get out of that relationship. So I went back to the corporate world, and that brings us to June of 2021. So this is a longer story than I planned on telling, but I'll keep it succinct. We're getting to the point here. June of 2021, I was presented the opportunity to exit the corporate world again. It was a gift. It really was. There's a little bit of an ego hit there where it was kind of like my boss came to me and she said, "I can see you're unhappy, and I can see that you probably don't want to be here. Would you like to go with a 6-week severance package?" And at first I was panicking. I'm still trying to get out of this toxic relationship. I'm supporting my kids. I need this income. And I said, "No, I want to stay, let me stay." And 2, 3 days later, I had sat with it enough in my heart to say, this is a freaking, this is like an exit pass, paid exit pass. Like, how are you not going to take this? So, I took it. I took it with no parachute, no plan, which is so unlike the Aries sun and Capricorn rising that I am. And yet it is very much the 3 planets in Pisces, the Cancer moon, and the Scorpio midheaven that I have. So I did it, and I took a few months to just recover. I just slept and I played with my kids, and we enjoyed the summer, and it was amazing and gorgeous and beautiful. And then come about September, I felt like, okay, I've had enough of this thing that I'm doing. I just kind of felt like, okay, I need to do something now. And that's where the inspiration came for the YouTube channel, and then that led to the coaching and the free Facebook accelerators teaching how to manifest abundance through your life purpose and guiding people into their life purpose. And it's just incredible how this is all unfolded and how beautiful it is. And all of it was so critical because especially in that healing and that recuperation phase where I started to question, now that I'm healed, now that I've re-energized, I'm ready to get out there again. What do I want to do? And everything I wanted to do had this film of I'm afraid to be seen over it. I'm afraid to be judged. I don't like asking for things from people. And come to find out, of course, perfect timing, Venus is going to go retrograde in my ascendant. So what is that? That is the lesson of self-worth. What are you worth? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your value? Do you believe in your life purpose? Are you willing to ask for what you're worth? Right? And all of these things sort of unfold and unpack as we move through our path towards our life purpose. We start to get rid of all of the distractions, like a corporate career that was not for me, or the fear of being seen and hiding, right? And we often say, well, I'm sensitive, or I'm an empath. And yes, I agree. Complex trauma in childhood leads to sensitivity and empathy and being adaptable and flexible so that we can make everybody happy and be people pleasers. It also causes us to hide. It also causes us to fear our unworthiness. It also prevents us from asking for what we're worth. And here's the crazy thing is, if you've had complex trauma in childhood, or essentially you felt unsafe and your needs were not met and you were given this subconscious program that you were unworthy, we have this tug of war going on, this conundrum inside of us all the time. I'm not good enough and I don't want to be seen, and yet all I really truly want is to help people and to contribute and to be valued and to be loved and respected. And yet you cannot get one without the other, right? If you're refusing to be seen or you're wearing a mask so that people like you, inadvertently, of course, you're a good person. You're just trying to prevent yourself from getting hurt. But at the same time, you're like, I want love and respect. No, I can't be seen. I want love and respect. No, I can't be seen. And it is plaguing the planet, and especially spiritual people, kind, good-hearted people, the very people that we need to step up. And so I have to be careful here because I'm getting into my content instead of my story. So that was my lesson, right? This is the journey that I have traveled over the last almost 9 months now. And so I never felt like there was something wrong with me or like I should feel shame. If someone said to me 6, 9 months ago, do you feel shame? I would have said, no, I feel confident in who I am. I have a lot to offer. I'm loving. I'm a good person. And yet there was hidden shame in there. And it was more so around people making me feel shame, or rather me allowing people, right? Me sending myself the message that I should feel shame because of how they treat me or how they respond to me. And so it has been a beautiful, massive, awesome journey. And the best part is, and this is, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to get at, is I have finally accepted that I want to and have wanted to for 10 years to pursue a psychology degree. I have a bachelor's. I did not realize that my current bachelor's can be applied towards a master's and even a PhD or PsyD in psychology. So, I have had so many limiting beliefs around why I can't do this. I have kids, I'm a single mom, I'm too old, right? All the limiting beliefs, the things we tell ourselves that keep us from our purpose and our path. And so oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you. It's happened in the last 2 weeks, and man, have the energies been crazy. Have you guys felt it? Like, first it's like super good, and then it's really bad, and then it's super good, and then it's like, oh, I'm tired. But these good moments have really pushed us into the next step, the leveling up, the downloads, whatever you want to call it, right? The thing that we need to step into. And man, the moment or even the hours after I finally said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm 100%, 1000% committed to pursuing a PhD in psychology, which I pretty much personally have done already. So doing it in my free time, I may as well do it formally. As soon as I committed to that, holy crap, you guys. Like, I literally felt like I was this curmudgeon old train, right, driving on a broken track, and now I have just switched to a high-speed bullet train, and I am moving in the right direction. Like, unbelievable. Like, just the track switch. Like, boop, she's on the right timeline. Unbelievable. And I cannot even... There's just no words. There's just no words. And I keep saying this. I've been saying this for this, I think I'm right around 8 months of the YouTube channel. As far as formally posting videos, I don't know when I actually signed up for the name, but anyhow, I've been saying it's amazing. It's so worth it. Like the joy, the bliss, the peace of mind, the rightness, the knowing that this is so right is so tremendously amazing and beautiful. I cannot fathom ever living a life of denying myself the way I did ever again. It's not possible. And I really want to invite everybody, come over to the other side. Like, this is so amazing that we are supposed to take care of our needs. We are supposed to love on ourselves. We are supposed to listen. If I'm hungry, eat. If I'm tired, sleep. If this job drains me, quit it. I mean, that sounds like a really risky thing to say, right? But man, I could have done it. I could have done it years before. I don't know. Maybe it was divine timing, maybe not, but I'm pretty sure it was. Point being, when the opportunity comes, step into faith, believe in it. And I will say, of all the things that have revealed itself and been part of this journey, the most important has been my relationship with the divine. I prefer to say God, and I'm going to say that because that's my preference and I want to be authentic. If you call it creator, source, spirit, universe, it doesn't really matter. A rose by any other name still smells as sweet. The divine consciousness that is in us all, that you know at a cellular level is real, is so benevolent and so loving and so beautiful and so freaking cool and so amazing. It's just, there are no words. It's so tremendous and so profound, the beauty that life is intended to be, and how at peace we can be. We are intended to be. That we're not meant to go this alone. We're not meant to carry the weight of the world. We're not meant to have to figure it all out mentally beforehand. It's just so tremendous that, and it's interesting because, as if you know me, I came from a Christian background. I had a father for a minister, or a minister for a father, whatever you want to say. Basically, I had a minister, not a father. And it was a lot of guilt and shame, and you should repent, and you're a sinner, and you're broken, and that is not what God wants. And yet, I also spent probably an equal amount of my life, maybe more, in the vein of the metaphysical, if you will. I mean, that's what it's been called, but really it's an intuitive exploration more than anything. It's just feeling what feels right for me. And there, are dangers of calling on spirit and getting the wrong spirit, right? There are dangers of I am a god and having ego so take over you that you are separating yourself even more, right? That the unity and the connection and the love that our true creator has intended for us is so beautiful and so loving. It's I wish I was a better storyteller. I am studying that, so I'll get better at it. But it's just so tremendous and so profound. And so if you're struggling, if you are dealing with a dark night of the soul, or depression, or anxiety, or feeling trapped, or just the uncertainty, knowing that there's something more, but you can't quite figure it out, know that you are not alone. I definitely was there. And also know that if anybody can do it, I did it, you can do it. And I guess what I was trying to say there is, I'm kind of one of those people that should have been a statistic, like drug and alcohol addiction, broken family, abusive family, just all the stuffs, right? And I should have been a meth addict, pregnant teen in the gutter, right? Dead by now. And instead, I've not only turned my life around, had a 6-figure corporate career, but now I'm living my life purpose and pursuing a doctorate. I mean, and I'm happy that most importantly, I have figured out what it takes to psychologically make this thing work. And this is where I get kind of impassionate, is we're like driving a sports car, or we're riding in a sports car, driving it like a Ford, right? There's a certain way that this game works. There's a certain way that the psychological mechanisms, the neuroscience, the biology, it's all connected. And if you know the tips and tricks, you can be happy. If you know the tips and tricks, you can be abundant. If you know the tips and tricks, you can do anything within your soul's desire, within your divine purpose, right? That you're not an accident, that you are perfectly imperfect for your purpose, which means every aspect of you is made with intention, that there's no parts of you to deny or reject, right? Oh, it's amazing, you guys. So, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, it's been a challenge. It's been a huge challenge, and faith has been the number one key, and your connection to the divine is going to be your way out. And I want to say too that this is not I don't agree with the religious perspective that you need to fully surrender to some outside source, right? There is a personal power that was gifted to you by God and your creator, and you are being asked to learn how to use it. That if you look at Christ consciousness, you look at the example that Jesus was, they're teaching us how to use what we are gifted, that we are meant to be creators. We are here to co-create. The divine wants to play with us, and it's supposed to be fun. And so it's not in this grovel and I'm broken, that doesn't work. That actually kind of, throws the brakes onto your sports car. We need to step into power with humility, right? It's this delicate balance. So I will wrap it up. I know this is kind of a long one, but I just want to say it's amazing. It's awesome. Everything's good and great. And of course, there's always going to be challenges. There are plenty of unknowns, and this is a big financial undertaking, and starting a YouTube channel and a coaching business it's not lucrative right up front. But man, I can tell you, I know how to manifest and I have everything I need, and it's freaking awesome. So come along on the journey with me, join the ride, come say hi. I do lots of free sessions. I would love, love, love to help you if you are struggling and you just want a free 30-minute session to talk about what your blocks are and some suggestions on how to get out of it. I'm happy to offer that. I love connecting with my community. So please know I am not some distant stranger that's just on the screen that you can't talk to. I'm a real person and I love to help people. And it is my gift to hold space and to love on you and be your cheerleader and be your support mechanism. So please tap into that resource. So I love you guys. I'm going to say bye for now. This is longer than I planned, so I will catch you on the next one. Hopefully it's not as long. I probably will be back with some kind of announcement when I choose a school and have some more clarity. We've got eclipse season coming up, so I'm sure plenty of things will come out of that as well. So I will catch you on the next video. I truly am sending you all my love. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are valuable. You are worthy. Do not ever forget that. And I will see you on the next video. Namaste, my friends.